YouTube? Devin Midrow here, back at it again, another video on camera. Let's see, it is October 11th, 2023 at 6:35 in the morning, 75 degrees out, a little overcast, the sun's not blasting in my eyes, even though I very much appreciate the sun. Man, the world is just it's just a crazy place, you know. that you value, right? That really you can't put a price on. Really, the foundation is your beliefs, right? What you believe in is gonna motivate you to do whatever things you're going to do, right? Like how you go about like your operating system, right? Your standard operating procedures are built upon your beliefs. Once you got those beliefs, you have a direction to take. You have, something to work off of, and it's a big deal. It's a big deal. So I'm gonna leave you guys with that. You know what I mean? I pray for all the people that are in other countries that are going through some absolutely just horrific times, and it would be so great if we could just always have peace in the world, but obviously even in this day and age that's not the case. You think we could work things out and be cordial, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way. So this is just a lesson of appreciating what you have, and being grateful for each and every day that you have these blessings in your life. So I'm gonna run with that. You guys have a great day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video. Aloha.